Flory Models. I'm Philip Flory. Kit review time. Today we've got something completely brand new for me. This is Freedom Models. No, that's not the Spot people. This is Freedom Models, brand new company to me. Never seen any of their stuff before, but they've actually done a 1/48 scale. It's something that's bang up to date. This is the X47B, which is the Navy's, I think, going to be strike fighter bomber attack recon drone type thing. It's going to be all singing, all dancing drone. I've loved watching the development of this particular aircraft. I'm a real fan of it. I think it's a cracking piece of kit, and now it's becoming almost, it's doing everything it needs to do. It's landed on the carrier, it's taken off from the carrier, it's ground handling, and then only this week I've watched it do air-to-air refueling as well online as well, and seeing a drone do air-to-air refueling is quite clever. Okay, so I must admit, I've been a massive fan. I've been after this kit for a while, and then all of a sudden one popped up at a reasonable price, and I thought, right, we're going to buy that one, we're going to have that. So I went off and got it. So generally, as you can see, you've got, it's, you know, as you say, you've not got cockpits, lumps and bumps and that, but you can do other things with this one, and I think it's going to be the future and the way to go, and certainly with an F-35 in the background, it's sort of going to be paving the way ahead, I think. As I said, haven't used this company before. Beautiful box art on the front, very simple but very striking. Okay, so having a look around on the box, as we can see, it's talking about some of the key features. So obviously it's got a wing fold system, which is quite nice. It's going to be quite a lump, this thing. Don't think it's a small little thing. Okay, so you've got that. We've obviously got detailed weapon bays and obviously gear bays and everything else. The nose gear, you could set it up for a catapult launch type of thing. We've got some photo etch, which is a nice touch. We've obviously got the decals and everything else like that. So your kit number for this one is FB18001. So 001, I'm assuming it is their first realm into model making. Okay, so obviously down here it's talking about obviously the model, and we're going to get a couple of GVU 32s in the set as well, and your last look down there. Okay, so in the box, and I have not even opened this box to look in it. I've been very good on this one, so I have no idea what's in here. Okay, so straight off the bat we are separate bagged. We've got all the parts in here. Okay, first impressions, the bags look quite cheap, but you know, let's face it, it's only a bag, so I shouldn't be complaining about a bag. Okay, so a little bit of photo etch there, and the decals, which we'll look at in a moment. We've got a nice gloss sheet. Okay, straight off of the bat, I'm looking at these instructions and I'm thinking Hobby Boss Trumpeter. They have that same type of style. Now, it could be they've just copied it, but you know, who knows with these things. So general type thing, you've got the sort of, you know, the Chinese and English, you know, things going down here, and Japanese and whatnot. Okay, so your standard type of things, running right through here. So I'm just trying to see the paint references. I'm not sure what they are. Oh, these are for the GCI colour ones, the way they're doing it. So MC are the buffable paints up here, and then it's just SM. I'm not sure what that is. So yeah, have to check on those colours. C1, yeah. So you might have to do a little bit of cross-referencing here. Right, okay, I've got you. So down in here, usual thing, we're going to be starting off with the gear, because obviously there's no cockpit, so where else are you going to start? Okay, so coming down in here, looks quite good, no problem at all. It's talking about it. We've got some photo etch down there. It's talking about unusual thing. So we've got two-piece wheels, which is quite a nice touch. Some more photo etch again, just little tiny bits just to liven up the nose area, as you can see. Then we've got the main gear assembly. It looks quite complex, which is good. So we've got some nice bits going down in there and everything else. What is strange, it's talking about not using glue in certain areas where you normally would. Traditionally, I'd glue that, but apparently not. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Okay, and then obviously the same for the other side. Then we're over onto this one. So we're talking about, this is going to be the outer wing section. So we've got these, the actual, they're calling them air brakes. I don't think they actually are an air brake system the way it actually is. It's like the B2, it's actually part of the control system on it for the flight controls. But it's talking about the various systems in there, cutting, removing parts to have them in different positions and stuff like that. Okay, so putting them in so you can have them open or closed. And then exactly the same for the other side. The engines themselves, it look lovely little touch here. I saw them just then as we were looking through the kit. It's got full length intakes, which is quite a nice touch. No engine, but you do have the first stage compressor system, and then obviously the nozzle on the rear. So basically it's all you need to see. Okay, and then it's going to be in case of installing those two in. Okay, So the wheel wells are already moulded in by the looks of it. Okay, so as you say, it's just a single engine system that runs through the middle. All right, and then obviously we've got some little, might be a bit fiddly for the doors and that. You've actually got to put the actual activators on there, all of them, and the hinges system. So those have all got to be put in, which may be a little bit fiddly. All right, and then it's just going to be a case of going around and putting a lot of this in. So there's a lot of little tiny bits going in. I'd be interested to see how much detail is in these bays, because technically you're not doing anything to them. And then you've got the option, obviously, open or close for the bays if you wanted to. Working our way through, and then okay, so you've got the actual GBU32. It'd be interesting to see how nice that one is, but it'd be a straightforward replacement if it's not. Again, you've got to put all the hinges and activators on the doors, which is going to be a complete pain. Okay, and then talking about the front view to get the alignment correctly for the actual weapon bays, how it's going to hang and all those things. And then it's going to be a case of the wing system. So it'd be interesting if you have to glue that in, or you could have it as a separate, and that way you could put the two types in, either folded or not. Okay, and those going in, no, you're not going to be able to do that. You're only going to get one option on that, I think. Okay, and then obviously for the fold up one, pop them in. Okay, exactly the same. It's nice how it's showing you these side views, so you get the angles correct up there and get a little bit more detail. All too often they're a little bit vague, these things. More photo etch, you've got a little bit of photo etch stuff here going in there, which is a nice touch, because again, it's something you're going to see very, very clearly. And then you've got the final, so it's weird not doing a cockpit. Parts callouts, okay, just down there, okay, and then we're back to the front again. So, a little bit odd the way that is. The actual colour sheet, so it's nice saying plenty of decals and markings and everything else like that. So this is definitely going to be a gloss job to get all these down nicely. The GBUs, again, we've got some nice decals and things going on there. Nice, we've got all the different sides profiles and all of that. So we've got the sort of the aircraft test version one down here for CVW9, and then obviously the actual test squadron itself of VX9 down like that. So again, very nicely done. Some nice decals, some nice markings and everything else. The photo etch, I won't bother getting that out because it is a little bit tiny, as you can see. You know, nothing flash, but it's there. It's very thin photo etch. Okay, then we've got the decals, which will be one of these nice sticky bags. I often wonder if these bags are going to be alright in years to come. So the decals themselves, immediately off the bat, they look very, very glossy. What's really funny though is we've got all the carrier squadrons down here. So you might be able to see that on all of those down there. We've got all the carrier squadrons down there. So I'm thinking the way this is, you could do this for anything right the way in. The only thing is, these do look, how well the camera picks them up, they are uber glossy. I mean total gloss. So down here, this carrier area in the middle, that's going to be a real pain. He says, choosing his words correctly. You can see them on the gloss on the camera there. So these are not particularly nice. I think they're going to be a right pain. They are overly glossy. You know, your only way around that is to totally gloss it, put these down, re-gloss it to seal, and then come back in with a flat coat or your satin finish or whatever you want to do on it. But they look too glossy to me, and I can imagine because they're glossy, it means they're going to be quite thick. Because they're quite thick, they're going to be a pain to get down with no silvering. And then because they are so thick, once they are down, you've got silvering, it's going to be quite hard to get rid of it. So, the bags, which I must admit do look quite cheap. We have a staple holding it all together. Okay, so straight off the bat, okay, it's got a texture to the plastic. The plastic feels, well, you might hear it, it's my ping test. Okay, it's quite that sharp, snappy plastic, okay? What that means is when you cut it off the sprue, sometimes it can snap a little bit easier and everything else. Generally looking around at it though, and obviously, you know, it's composite material, so you haven't got a ton of, you know, riveting detail absolutely everywhere. Obviously, we've got quite a bit down the back here. But generally, as you can see, hopefully you can see, catch it in some of these camera angles, things like that, you have got some nice detail. We've got overly stressed areas down here where it's been pushed out of the mould, so that's these ejector pins here where it's had a hard time to get it out. But even on the inside, it's extremely softly moulded. Not that you're going to see any of this, it's just me being picky. but it has that feel of cheapness, shall we say. It's I don't know, it's almost like a cheap Chinese knockoff kit, all right, which we've seen in the past. A little bit of flash just here and there around it, but generally not too bad. You know, the ejector pins, whilst they're all here quite heavy, they are all quite flush. The doors themselves have got some nice details on, some, you know, things like that. It's a complex system. You might notice, if we catch this, you can see how curved this all is to get the right curves, to hold the curves and everything else down here. We don't have any ejector pins, which is quite a nice touch. I think what they've done is they've used a square ejector pin to get these out. If you catch them in the light, there we go, just seeing them on the light just down there. But that's what it is. They've used square ejector pins, which is actually quite a good idea, because you can get away then and call it detail. If it's a round one, everyone's like, it's an ejector pin. Okay, but generally not too bad. I'm quite liking all this detail on the top. It's a mixture of raised and recessed. It's all roughly the same. The entire thing's got an Italian type plastic effect to it, but I think it's all right. Okay, now the underside, which was a little bit disappointing. I thought we might be able to do something with the underside, but alas not, because it is all completely molded in one. Okay, it's going to save you a little bit of time. What I do like about it, there is no ejector pin marks in any of the wheel wells, because obviously it's pushing from this side out, so you don't have that usual thing of in here, which is actually a very nice touch and quite a clever way of doing it. Okay, so generally looking down in here, you've got all the framework and all those details, as you can imagine you're going to need down here in all of these. We've got some nice riveting. Again, there's a little bit of flash here and there, but I think that's being picky. Again, on the doors, no problem. It's a nice mixture of raised and recessed details on there, and again exactly the same. And in fact, we've got on here 2 bits of plastic left over from this ejector pin system, okay, which again I don't think it'd be a mass problem to get rid of. Again, loads of ejector pins on the inside, but we don't worry about any of those. That's a great thing about these, and some of them did get rather close to busting through, but generally I can't complain about it, although my gut instinct says it's sort of cheap, nasty, almost like Kitty Hawk in the way the kit goes together. It's better than Kitty Hawk. I know that's not hard, but from my point of view, it's a one-up from Kitty Hawk. Let's just go that far. I'm not going to say anymore, I'm going to get in trouble. Okay, so generally around here looking at the wing system, you might see again got some funny marks, lumps and bumps, but again very nice mixture, raised, recessed details all over the wing system. All the control surfaces are very nicely done. This lovely gorgeous intake system looks like a tail of a stingray or something. It's great. It's actually very molded very nicely. All of that is absolutely great, no problem with that at all. Again, clever use of square ejector pin systems on the inside where you're going to see it. Okay, it wouldn't be too much of a problem to polish this one out if you wanted to, but I don't think you're going to see too much down in there anyway. But again, very nice, no problem with any of those. Okay, and for the other part of the wing, ouch, obviously it had a bit of a fight getting out the mold there. As you can see, that really took a hit. Almost got it. Also, we got this sort of funny spattering down on here. Well, the camera picks that out, but a little bit weird. Anyway, it's all good. I can't complain about it all. It's just it's very close to being a horrible kit, but it's not. It's actually worked out. It just got in there by the skin of its teeth. Again, clever use of square ejector pins to get this out, which makes it a lot easier. You know, let's face it, trunking systems on intakes and that aren't totally smooth. There is joins, they do have touch-ins. I've got a beautiful shot of an F16's one which got like a patchwork quilt inside there. It looks like 20 coats of different colours of paint in there, and it gives it a very nice effect. So it shows they're not always perfectly smooth intakes. You'd think this thing would be because it's brand new, but there we go. Again, no problem with any of those. So you get just 2 sprues of busyness. All right, so a lot of this is going to be weapons and wing fold, I should imagine. So we'll start over on this guy here. Okay, so down here we've got all the gear. We've got a little bit of flash. All right, we've got a lot of flash all over this one. Pretty thin stuff. I think it will clean up quite well. There's no sign of mismolds or stressing on any of the parts, which is quite a nice touch. So nice details down in here we've actually got for the wing fold system. Doesn't look too bad at all. And all the little tiny bits, as you can see, running just down on this lower edge here, they're all very nice, all cleanly done, no problem with any of those. Okay, they're all very nice. I can't see a problem with any of that actually on here. It's just where it's going to take you time. I think it's putting all those arms and the activators and the hinges and everything on all the doors. It's going to take forever to do that lot. But because it's quite a boring kit, I can't say boring because it's quite futuristic kit, but because it's quite a simple kit, shall we say, you could spend that time doing all those doors and all the bits and pieces. No weight on wheels, unfortunately, but at least it's just a nice straightforward two-part wing system. We've got the blades. We have got actually open system down there. A little bit of sanding on the back of these. I think that will give you perfectly for the blades down there. This is the first stage compressor blades. This is the rear nozzle set. So actually that isn't too bad at all. I think that's quite nice running through there. The GBUs are acceptable. I think they're going to be all right. I wouldn't bust a gut about going in with a replacement set. I think that'll do quite nicely. Again, treat GBUs, all your weapon systems, like mini models on their own. In fact, do them completely separate to your model. That way you won't rush it, because as I said, a very nice weapon makes every kit look so much better. It's usually like an afterthought. I'll just paint it green, yellow around the front, that'll do. Doesn't really cut it. Okay, everyone looks at the weapons. Okay, the tail hook is a little bit crude, if we're honest. It's very crude, in fact. Okay, so if you are going to have it down, you might want to just tidy it up a little bit and everything else. But these are all that armature system, the activators and everything. Quite a busy set there. Be interesting to see if you could just slide in and out the wing fold set, so you could have wings deployed or folded up. Chances are this is going to be quite a lump. It's going to be out here somewhere. You might want to fold the wings up just for getting it in your display case or on your shelf. So there we go. That is the X47B. Say, first time I've even looked at a Freedom Models kit. Yeah, it's better than Kitty Hawk. If I'm honest, the moulding the way it is, clever use of square ejector pins in areas you're going to see it, so immediately your brain doesn't think ejector pin, so that's actually a very nice touch and something that I haven't seen before, so you know, kudos for them for having a bit of forethought in that one. Generally the quality of the plastic and everything else a little bit less than, you know, obviously other mainstream manufacturers, but certainly to bring us something which technically couldn't have been an easy research job either, because there isn't much available on this particular aircraft at the moment, because it is a brand new UCAS. You know, obviously I can't imagine there's much on the internet about it technical wise, so a lot of this is going to be from photographs and just by scale drawings and stuff like that. So for them to come out and put a kit together at an early stage, and obviously being a relatively new company like this, I think is fantastic. So kudos to them. Definitely buildable, and if you are into your very modern stuff, your F-35s, if you're thinking along those lines, your Raptors, you're going to want to do one of these, because this is going to be mainstream and is going to be part of our future. So there we go, Freedom Models X47B approved.